First of all, we just want to say thank you to everybody for coming out tonight. It's definitely beautiful weather. I know it's always nice to come out and enjoy the weather when it's like it's not raining, not too cold, and whatever. So Dad, I'm just kidding. But first of all, I just want to say thank you. And Darcy wanted to introduce our team to you because I know some of you might not know everybody who's on our team. So, and come on up too.
It's not going to amplify, but it does pick up for the video.
Okay.
So.
We wanted to I wanted to say also welcome to all of you. It's been an exciting time for us here since David and I have partnered in January. We're very excited to have this wonderful partnership. And with this partnership, we've grown this team to one of the best times and the most exciting times I've had in my entire career. I'm Darcy Searle, Financial Consultants Group. In January, I partnered with David Fountain Financial Group. And as we say, together we're here to make your lives better and to help you. During the year, we've also added Sandy Fricks. Sandy comes to us from a financial planning firm. We stole her, but we won't say that too loud. From another financial planning firm, and we're really excited to have her on the team. She brings so much experience. She's a CFP, and more than anything, she does referee between David and I. So that's always
nice. For sure.
So we disagree. We bring Sandy in, and she goes, "Oh yeah, I got this," and she definitely does.
She's got the temperature to keep us down.
Yeah. But it's all good. We work well together. And then we want to introduce. What's your name again? Jennifer Asher. Jennifer came to us during the year. Jennifer was in the financial services business for many years, took some time out to be a mother with her family, and then wanted to be back in the financial services business. So she brings years of experience also to us from the financial services business. So it's an exciting time. We have several things we want to talk with you tonight. We want to set the tone just a little bit about our speakers tonight. But as you know, one of the top things are talking about right now that's on the top of everyone's mind is security. How do we protect ourselves? How do we protect you? We've invited several speakers here tonight. I'm very excited to do that. I think David wants to talk a little bit about welcoming and maybe a little bit more information.
Yeah, as you know, for those of you that got to know us over the years, financial planning is more than just numbers and dealing with investments, and that's what we try to really provide much more than that, and getting to know you and trying to help you make those financial decisions that sometimes it's hard to do as husband and wife, or even just on your own. It's hard to make those decisions. So we try to spend the time in getting to know you and your families and how we can really help you make those decisions, or just be a second opinion sometimes to how to get things done. And in doing that, that's why one of the things that we find is protecting your assets or your identity, like we're talking about tonight, is definitely very important, because you mess up that and it really is going to really put a pause on everything else in your life. So if you're working or if you're retired, it's going to make life pretty miserable if your credit does get compromised. So we want to take a little bit of extra time in talking about that with you all tonight. And we're going to provide, some good speakers, as Darcy was saying. And one of the things for us, too, is, as a lot of you have heard, we are in the transition from moving our custodian, the people that manage or take custody of your assets. We've evaluated that over the past few months, too. And so we partnered up with Trust Company of America, which Melissa is here tonight, that she'll be speaking for them, and just show and demonstrate how your assets are protected there too, because as you know, no one really owns any stocks or mutual funds. You have some paper or a number, right? So all those can easily be compromised if you don't follow some things like that. That's why we chose Trust Company of America, because of their culture, first of all, and then their experience in being there for what they've done for their clients over the years. So I'll let her get into that more detail later. But that's really what we wanted to put this event together for, is for you to show you what you need to know to make yourself more protected with regards to your identity.
All right. So tonight, we'd like to start with our first speaker, Officer Lenz, Sheriff with the Forsyth County Sheriff's Department. And Officer Lenz will share with you some of the things he's seeing in the community. And I have to say that this was almost prime. We've been planning for this for months to have this event today. But David and I, over the last few weeks, each had our credit cards compromised.
We didn't plan that, by the way.
We didn't plan it. Different reasons, different events. Mine was at a kiosk.
She was in Chicago.
I was in Chicago in a kiosk, and a scanner got me as some kind of scammer or whatever. And David just online.
I have no idea how it happened,
how his was.
Probably an online purchase or something like that.
So both of us can probably learn from those things as well. So Officer Lenz, appreciate you coming here today. Thank you so much. And Officer Lenz does have another event to go to after this, so we do appreciate him coming up today. And just also from a housekeeping standpoint, we will be ordering, I think all of you have ordered, so we will be dining and eating at the time of our presenters as well. So bear with us through this, because we're trying to be respectful of your time. Anything else? All right. All right. Thank you, Officer Lenz.
Yes, ma'am. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Julian Brandon Lynn. I go by my middle name, Brandon. I've been in law enforcement for over 10 years now. I started off working for the Georgia Department of Corrections. I worked in the prison system. I went to DeKalb County Police Department for a little bit, and I went to Clayton County Police Department, and then I ended up here. You know, in my law enforcement career, the biggest thing starting from 2000 on up, financial fraud. I really have done several thousand reports, and most of them are financial fraud. So I didn't really start to understand it until I was a narcotics undercover detective for Clayton County. My main job was to buy dope and guns and everything like that. But how that ties into the drug dealers, these people, they hire people to go around neighborhoods and look in mailboxes. That is their sole job. Is they'll give them a little bit of dope, they'll give them a little bit of money. I want any information that would be a bill of yours, credit card applications. So they would pay big money for that. They pay big money for people to steal. They would steal purses, but the main thing they want out of those purses is the driver's license or any type of Social Security card. And it's a bonus for them if they can get to a shop real quick before you notice it and charge up your card, hundreds of dollars. That's a bonus, but that's not the main reason why they're doing it, because on the black market, your ID is worth hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. And like they were saying earlier, once your credit gets compromised, I've done several reports. You have to talk to all the credit bureaus. You have to contact the Social Security company, and say you're in the process of buying a house or a car. You're making a big purchase where you need finance. Guess what? That's going to be put on hold for God knows how long, because you know how the government works. Let's hurry up and wait. Just take their time, and they'll get to you when they get to you, and they're probably discussing personal things when they should be doing other things. I've also seen a lot of online stuff lately. For people that don't know, I'm sure some people know about this. Somebody will send you a message, it'll be out of the blue, saying, your family member passed away. I'm such and such lawyer. Contact me back. I got a text message probably about 3 days ago saying, I have a dead relative in Europe, and that he or she has 10 million euro waiting on me. I just got to contact or give some information. So first off, if it sounds like it's too good to be true, 99.9% of the time it is. Has anyone ever heard of the prince in Africa fighting the rebels? He needs to use your bank account. This is kind of what they're doing now, but they're being a little bit more slick about it. They're getting family information. They could hack email accounts. They send worms. If you like these things that you see on the internet, oh, you won a cruise, click here. And if you start clicking these things, these are these shady people that are trying to get into your computer system. And by clicking this, you won $1,000. Here's your free Apple iPhone. Or those send out those Trojans and worms. They will go through everything in your computer. They'll find pictures. They're looking for cards, and basically it's programmed to find numbers. So a row of numbers, and that's what it's going to find. So if you've been paying bills online, you've been shopping online, that's what it's going to look for. And so they turn around and sell those, and they can clone cards with that. So before you even know, they've already cloned your card, and they sold it on the black market. So, but if you, and also I forgot to say in the beginning, if you guys have questions, please raise your hand and let me know, because I would like to. Yes, ma'am.
I have a question for
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
Okay, so you mentioned that thieves are looking for your driver's license.
Correct.
If I do not carry my driver's license, I'm good at home, and I get pulled over by a police officer for speeding. If I show you a picture of it on my phone, is that acceptable, or do I have to have my license to show you guys who I am?
Georgia state law requires you have to have a license on your person. If I pulled you over and you weren't rude, or you weren't, being a pain, I'd be okay. Well, that's fine. I'll take that, and I'll write down the number and run it. Yeah, but it's always recommended that you keep your license on you, because if something happened to you, say you got in, God forbid, you got in a horrible wreck, we have to be able to find out who you are, notify your family where you're going to be at. Question? Yes, ma'am.
You mentioned don't pay online,
Yes, ma'am.
and I know that there's a secure indicator on the address. Are those actually secure, or is that just?
You remember, did you know, a lot of times they are secure, but these guys that sit behind a computer and are professional hackers, like how they hacked Emory, or was it Emory not too long ago, where they got a whole bunch of patient files taken out? They're out there, they're trying to one-up these security companies. They're trying to get it. I think eBay not too long ago had somewhat of a breach. So they're secure, but we don't know what they're playing. We don't know what kind of tools they have. So, like for example, I use PayPal all the time. Everything I use is PayPal, because they guarantee, and if something does happen, I'm covered. So make sure you do that. If you're going to use some type of online payment, make sure it's a reputable site. You may pay the extra 50 cents or $1 or $2, but then it's like going to a bank and it's being federally insured if something happens. I'd rather pay for the peace of mind. Now, like again, these also, I don't know if you're familiar with these card readers lately. If you go into a rough area, say you go downtown Atlanta, there are certain types of elements that hang around these gas stations and stuff like that, and they will install these little card readers into the gas pump. So even if you think you're in a bad area, I'm just going to get gas real quick, and you slide your card in there, they'll save card numbers. It saves card numbers, and they can upload the card numbers onto an app or something to that nature. And they can clone your card right then and there. And before you leave the gas station, I've seen it where they've already spent $10,000 of somebody's money before they were filling up a $60 tank of gas. So when you're out using your card, keep that in mind. If you're in a bad area, these people like to do stuff like that, and they're getting really technology smart. Phones, if you keep passwords on your phones, there's a couple of ways of breaking into a phone. Be careful about that, because I could take any phone and go down to the sheriff's office and hack somebody's phone and get into it. If I can do it, they can do it. Okay? So electronically, where you store your stuff, be very careful. I recommend a shredder for documents, because like I said, when I was in narcotics, one of the things we did is we did what they call a trash pool. So when I'm building my case against a drug dealer, we'll go and sit outside or sit in their neighborhood and wait till the night before they pull the trash out and put the trash out the garbage man. We'll go in there and we'll go dig through the trash. We'll dump it in the back of the truck and go off. That's what they're doing too. In some of these areas, they're looking for anything. Bills. Shred that stuff. Don't throw prescription bottles is another one. It's got your name and date of birth on it. I can do all sorts of stuff with just your name and date of birth. So prescription bottles, what I do, I know that they're a pain to pull off. If you get a really good Sharpie marker, try to scratch it off. And if you still don't feel safe, at the sheriff's office, we have prescription drop boxes. You can just bring them in there, and they're collected by the GBI and they're destroyed. So, questions? Yes, sir.
In regards to the mailbox fraud,
Yes, sir.
would you recommend something like a PO box? Would that be a safer
P.O. boxes are usually in an enclosed, monitored area. If you are, say you do online business, I would definitely recommend a P.O. box. As far as being in a regular neighborhood, work with your neighbors. Cameras, I recommend cameras for home protection. I've solved many cases because somebody had cameras in their house. So, but if you ordered gold coins, I would have them picked up at the post office. Anything else? Question? Yes, ma'am.
I'm just giving you a walk.
Okay. Again, I will leave my email with one of the representatives. If you guys do think of something you need, or if there's something that you're questionable about, you can email me at any time, contact me, and I'll be more than happy to help y'all with anything I can. So, go ahead.
I have a question. So in Forsyth County here, what are some of the big, or the new things, or what should we be on top of our list there?
One of the big things is, I'm glad you brought that up, is somebody calls you and says, hey, this is Forsyth County Sheriff's Office. You had jury duty, you missed jury duty. You got to pay $500 or we're going to cut a warrant for your arrest. First off, we will never, any law enforcement agency, the FBI or whoever, the ABCs, will never call you and say, we're going to take a warrant for your arrest. You got to pay right now. We're just going to do it. Okay? And second of all, if they've been asking for money cards, we're not going to ask for a money card. No government agency is going to ask you to go to CVS, go get a money card, put $200 on it and pay us. Okay, that's ridiculous. No. If somebody calls you, you can always, and claims to be the IRS, us, you can always ask for, by law, if you ask for an ID number from any type of federal government, they have to give you one. They have to supply you one. That's the feds. Now, you can, to verify if we are officer such and such, you can tell that, first off, you can tell that person, well, I'm going to verify before I do anything, and then you can call the dispatch non-emergency number and say, hey, this is what I got. Somebody's claiming to be Officer John Smith, and you can ask this person for a badge number and confirm that with dispatch. But again, we are not going to call and say, oh, you have a warrant for your arrest, or you missed jury duty, you've got to pay money. So that's another big one that's been happening a lot lately. And acting like a family member is another one. Somebody sending a message with a family member's hacked email saying, hey, Grandma, hey, Mom, hey, Aunt Sue, I'm in a bind, I need some money. So if that ever happens to y'all, I would suggest you call them personally before you do send any type of money to them and ask them personally, because that's another big thing I've been seeing come up. Yes, ma'am.
Well, to have someone call like that, should we report it to the police?
Yes, you can report to us, but a lot of times they're using these throw phones. And these throw phones, we cannot trace them because of these gas station phones where you can just go spend $20 and you got 30 minutes. And so, unfortunately, it doesn't come back to a carrier, so we can't trace them. And a lot of times, they could be out of state. And
My father's gotten a lot of those kind of calls.
yeah,
And even with someone home said that it was his grandson, and they
Yeah.
were taking
going to jail, yeah, or something like
paper
that.
scam
Yep.
a few years ago, back when my mother passed away.
Oh, yeah.
And even went on WDATV, because there was a lot of it going on then. But lately, he's been getting calls again. And I answered his phone the other day. And, Grandmother, don't you even know it's that your own grandson's voice? It's like,
Yeah, that happened to my.
you know, so, I mean, should I have reported that or just let it go? Or
I would report it because eventually, and as sad as it sounds, these types of crimes, 80% of them don't get investigated. You know, if we keep getting enough of them, then it starts to become a thorn in the side to where it's starting to be, because we can't fly to California and find these people, you know, and sometimes they're in Africa, you know, they're all over the place, you know, and if there's anybody, you know, and here's another one for single people, if you know single people, that there are people that are acting like somebody interested in you on an online dating site, and then they will get your trust, and then they start asking for money, or they'll come up and say, hey, can you help me out? I need a credit card to buy groceries or something to that nature, and they'll get that credit card number, and then they'll purchase a whole bunch, and they won't even be the person they say. I'm seeing that too. So, anything else?
With young children, is there anything else that we should be doing to try and protect their information?
Children's information by law cannot be given out, so you don't have to worry about the school unless, there happens to be that one shady person that works at the school. I've seen where very rarely do I see kids' information gets used to open up electric bills, gas companies, cable companies. It does happen, but it's few and far between. It's usually people that are a little bit lower class using like their nephews and nieces' social security number to do things. So, anything else?
I guess one last thing.
Yes, sir.
So does the sheriff department have any resources or online things that are newsletters or ways that we can keep in touch with, what the county sees?
Yeah, if you got, that's a good question. If you guys got Facebook, we do pretty much update it every day or every other day. We'll come up with tips, what to do and what not to do. If there's a rash of these phone calls going on, we'll notify you. And something unrelated is it's called a reverse 911 call. Basically, if something is happening in your area that is very big, you need to sign up for reverse 911. So basically, we'll call y'all. It could be 3 in the morning. We could be in a manhunt in your neighborhood, and anything that's around, or if we're in your neighborhood or around your neighborhood, you'll get notified. Hey, there's a police manhunt going on. So I definitely would recommend you get. Yes, ma'am.
Is that to countywide?
It's dispatch. Say this area there is a gas main leak and there's a high chance of explosion. It would call everyone within a X amount of radius of the area and say, stay in your house or evacuate or what proper.
Does every county have that? Or?
I know we do. I know they had it when I was in Clayton County. I don't know if your smaller counties would have something like that, but that's something you can find out if you live in a different. Go to the Forsyth County Sheriff's Office webpage, and there's a tab that's something about sign up for reverse 911 call. So, all right. Well, I appreciate y'all. Thank you for having me out, and I will leave my email. So if you guys do have questions or something else later on, you can live out of state, out of county. I'll be more than happy to help you, no matter what. That's my.
Thank you for coming out.
Thank you.